Now that our Raycast gizmos are drawing for the left and right foot, we need to hook them up so that they're actually used in our code, because drawing them in gizmos is just for visualization and debugging. It doesn't actually affect gameplay. To do that, we're going to open up our player script again. We're going to go find the part where we do our grounding, which is actually right at the beginning of update. We have lines 48 through 53 that do all of the grounding checks. And the first thing that I want to do, and this is, I think, a very important step and a very important phase of development, is refactor or extract this little bit of code. If you look at our update method, right now we do a lot of grounding stuff, we do some input stuff, and then down here at the bottom we do the sprite stuff, and we've already extracted out that update sprite method that handles all of our sprite stuff. So why not do the same for our grounding? Let's take our bit of grounding code and we'll extract this out into a new method that we'll call update grounding. So I'm going to select all of the code from 48 to 53, hit Alt Enter, and choose extract method, and then we'll name this method update grounding. Now, if you had a hard time doing that, you can also just copy and paste all of that code, cut it all, make a method named void update grounding. You don't need the private keyword, and then paste the code inside of there, just like this. And then call the update grounding with the semicolon right here at the beginning of the update. Now, I don't have to look at this entire update method. I just have to look at this update grounding method for our ground updates. It makes it a lot easier for me to kind of comprehend what I'm looking at, all of the code, and to reason about it without having to see all of the extra stuff. In fact, I can even collapse down this update sprite, and I'm going to get rid of that private keyword while we're at it. So in our update grounding method, right now we do a check from the center. That's, we get our origin, we use our position X, which is the center of our character's X position, and then we get the bottom part of our character's Y by using the center and then subtracting the extents of the sprite renderer. So basically half the height of the sprite renderer to give us the bottom of our character. So we need to now get a position that's off to the left and the right by foot position and check those as well. So to do that, we're going to make a couple minor changes to, well, I guess they're not that minor of changes. The first thing that we're going to do is remove this else statement. We're going to kind of do 3 if checks, and we don't want to do else if, else if, else if. It'll get very confusing. So we're going to delete out line 72, and we're going to cut line 73. We take line 73, put it on the clipboard, Shift Delete or Control X, move it right up to the top on line 68. So now at the beginning of every frame, we're going to set is grounded to false. Don't worry though, because before anything else can process it, if we are grounded, we'll set it right back to true. Nothing will even know that it was changed. So on line 68, we'll set is grounded to false, and then we'll check to see if everything is good in the center. I'm going to save this off, and we're just going to make sure that nothing has broken, everything still works. We should have changed 0 functionality yet, and everything should be the same. It's always important when you refactor to test things, make sure that it all still works before you actually dive in and start making changes. So we want to make sure that it works with the refactor first. All right, so we jump in. I want to make sure that my layer's still correct. My player is set to the correct layer. The layer mask is still correct, missing the player. And I should be able to jump, but still not see those 2 left and right feet. Let's make sure that that works. Well, I can see them, but not use the left and right feet to jump. So I can jump, looks good. And then if I jump up on this other platform, I can't keep jumping. Yep, looks all right. Seems okay, and I can't double or triple jump or anything like that. Okay, so we'll stop playing. Let's go back into the code and now hook up our new part. So instead of just checking the center, we want to check the left and the right as well. Let's add a comment here on line 70, check center. And then let's do the same down here. We'll go check left on line 76, and I'm going to copy lines 71 all the way through 74. Then we'll paste them after 76. And then we've got a couple of issues. We've got 2 errors here. Now, if you remember what the cause of these errors is, awesome. Please just go ahead and fix it right now before I even tell you how to fix it. If you don't remember, don't worry, I'm going to explain it again. So what happens here is that origin is defined on line 71. So we can't redefine the origin variable. We can, however, reassign it by just getting rid of that part that's defining it, or the class type, or basically the type that you wanted to define it as, the part that was in that nice little light blue. We get rid of that, and the error will go away. The same is true for line 78. And by the way, we're using a word var. This could also say Raycast hit 2D. It's exactly the same. var is just shorter and it auto-completed. But it's still going to be an issue because we can't redefine it. We have to just remove that completely, and we could put Raycast 2D up here if we wanted to. Raycast hit 2D, like that. So that'll give us another copy of our check, but it doesn't actually check against the left position. Remember, in our gizmos, we're just subtracting the foot offset to get a left position. So I'll just take this minus foot offset, hit Control C, go down to the end of our position X, and paste it in. So now we're going to have a check that's off to the left of our foot offset, or subtracted our foot offset, which is like 0.35 to the left. Now I'll select this checked left part from line 76 all the way to the end of 80. Again, Controller Command D, hit the left arrow, enter, enter, get some new lines, and let's replace the word left here with right. And then let's make it actually check the right by, instead of going to the left or subtracting our foot offset, we will add our foot offset. So we'll hit plus, and now we should be checking in the center right here. That's this position right here, transform position X, off to the left, which is our position X minus 0.35, or I think it's 0.35 that we have, and then to the right, which is plus 0.35. If any of those returns back a hit, we will say that they're grounded. Now, there are a couple of things going on here that are not the most inefficient. For instance, if we hit in the center, we probably don't need to check the left and the right. We could probably bail out early, and probably a couple other little optimizations that we could do. But for now, I think that this is plenty fine. We're not going to have any actual performance issues. There's no real big benefit in updating it or modifying it or making it any faster. So we're going to leave it and make sure that it actually works, because that's the important part. We'll minimize our code editor, jump back into Unity, and press play. And I expect that now, if I can get my scene view up over that platform a little bit, I should be able to jump up and have my foot kind of hanging off and then continue jumping. It's going to be a much better feeling and more realistic character controller for a game. So I jump up, and there we go. I can now jump even when I'm kind of like hanging off the edge there. Still got plenty of room to jump. Things are looking a bit better, and I think I like that feeling quite a bit more. Now, you can modify that again by going to the player and just dragging in and out that foot offset, but I think that 0.35 is where I want to leave it for now. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to save, go to File, and make sure that I've saved my project too. Remember, File, Save Project. Make sure that the main reason for that is we want to make sure that our tags have been updated and saved in the update, which they should have been in the last one, but if you missed them, make sure that you do that. So here we've added Raycasts for left and right foot, and we're checking our changes.